Kayla Vernava alongside Doug Kyde in the Nesson studios with day one of NFL free agency in the books. Doug, I want to talk to you about what the Patriots still need now as time goes on. And starting with the receiving core, including tight ends. Now, if they have a healthy Rob Gronkowski, they also now have Dwayne Allen and seem to have a pretty well-rounded receiving core. Why is there still so much buzz about them looking for another receiver?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because, like you said, they're pretty loaded wide receiver already with Julian Edelman, Malcolm Mitchell, Chris Hogan. Danny Amendola is still technically on the roster, though he'll probably have to take a pay cut at some point. And then with the two tight ends now, you're kind of running out of spots for guys to contribute, but maybe they look more at Dwayne Allen as Rob Gronkowski insurance and maybe kind of a part-time offensive player. So I think that they do just still want a playmaker in there, and that's why they are looking at Brandon Cooks, and that's why they did previously look at Deshaun Jackson. So I think they just want to bring in some more talent, maybe give Malcolm Mitchell another year or two to kind of bring himself up in this offense and become a contributing NFL player. So I think they're just trying to look at pieces right now, and I don't know. I mean, Dwayne Allen's a good player. He was fine with the Colts, but I don't think you need to plug him in as an every down starter. I think that he can be more of a part-time player / Gronkowski insurance.
Well, Malcolm Mitchell's one player that I was going to ask you about specifically. He really seemed to show a lot of promise when he was healthy last season. Could he be the next playmaker, big playmaker? Because it kind of seemed that way in just 1 year.
Yeah, I think he certainly could be. I'm not sure if you can completely bank on it just because so many young wide receivers have showed promise in the Patriots offense and never really lived up to that potential. I'm looking at Aaron Dobson or Kembrell Tompkins. I'm certainly not saying that Mitchell's going to be that player. I think that he did show more promise in his first season than those other guys, but you can't count on it. So if you can bring in a guy like Cooks, then it's worth doing because he would just add another element to this offense the Patriots don't really totally have. Plus, Edelman's getting up there in years. Amendola's getting up there in years. I think it's just kind of worth seeing what else they can add to this offense.
Now, what about the ground game on offense? Is there anyone specifically out there you think that would mesh well and fit with their system that they need to pick up?
Well, the guys out there right now in free agency at least are basically LeGarrette Blount, Jamal Charles, Eddie Lacy's out there, Adrian Peterson. I know that a lot of people have kind of tied Lacy to the Patriots because he's a big running back like LeGarrette Blount, but I don't think he has the quickness the Patriots usually look for. I would kind of expect them to bring back Blount if the price is right, just because he has proven that he can contribute in this offense. He had a great season last year, kind of tailed off a little bit towards the end, but I think he's a little bit more easy to count on than a guy like Adrian Peterson or a guy like Eddie Lacy. I wouldn't mind seeing Jamal Charles in this offense either. He's kind of a different kind of back, but I don't know. A lot of people got excited over Adrian Peterson. I'm not completely sure why. I think it's just because it's a big name.
About that
the guy averaged 1.9 yards per carry last year. Granted, it was a very small 3-game sample size, but there are like hundreds of running backs out there, free agents, draft picks, and all of them averaged more than 1.9 yards per carry. So that one's one that I'm kind of...
He's over the cliff. Yeah, I was surprised, but everyone seeming to be so happy about that
totally
possible ad.
Yeah.
But defensively, now of course they surprise us all, break the bank on day one of free agency, bringing in Stephon Gilmore. Obviously a great ad. They did pay him quite a bit of money. But what else do you think they still need or is the priority for defense?
Well, the priority is probably pass rusher just because there's not a lot of guys on the team right now that fill that role. Jabal Sheard's their free agent out there, still on the open market. I can't really see them bringing him back just because of the role that he had towards the end of the season. So maybe they add a veteran guy, maybe like a Paul Kruger or I guess DeMarcus Ware would be ideal, but I'm not sure if I see that happening. But really, I see them addressing this through the draft, either with their first pick, second pick, somewhere in there, just to bring some more youth in there because they can survive one more season with Rob Ninkovich as the left defensive end starter. But moving forward, they definitely need someone for the future to play opposite Trey Flowers there.
All right, Doug, thanks so much. Make sure to keep it on Nesson.com for all your Patriots news.